they were distributing coming from Nazareth that had been monitored our numbers and prepared, organized in the UCDA that I managed and from there afterwards, it is UCDA that has been given first accountability to my president. And also the case is Operation Wealth Creation was not only for coffee. How far it was for vanilla coffee, it was for mango, it was for limawa, it was for many other things. Let them show us the success of those other crops. Is grown. Let them how they've succeeded. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, the people from Chisoro, Kanungu, the Minister of Agriculture, solely has been undertaking our tea. Coffee today. What happened to our tea? Alone. We lost accreditation. Uganda. We cannot export as Uganda 1.4 billion. What happens? We age. Our tea 1.4 billion Kenyan market and it's bought by Kenyans, packed Uganda tea, packed and stamped Kenya and exported to the world. So remarkable. It has been under the watchful eye of the Ministry of Agriculture. So when we are speaking about coffee, until they are not speaking about any other crop. They failed on any. I've asked the Minister of Agriculture to give us one crop Buganda, which they can. It's a national us to build the confidence as a benchmark. Actually, where they have succeeded. Absolutely, that is not grown in Buganda. Therefore, we are saying this agency, by the way, in addition to being a chairperson of Ghana parliamentary part of Western Uganda and in Bugisu, still cutters of this paper. But even today, what coffee has transited and have just made a very fundamental ordinary boundary. It's no longer national economy, to which Bugisu now is struggling to put a response. In Uganda, but that's another story. No, I've just audited the Ministry of Agriculture and all other. This is the ministry the most upcoming intensive care in growing coffee is Western. It is on oxygen. It is very, very sick about ministry. We are speaking about a plus on anything. Uganda scores on the minuses. So what's a crisis in Parliament? Ministry. You cannot entrust it with dealing with a very big issue. Government came up, by the way, now, government of Uganda, the president did not come up with the policy of rationalization. Honorable Robert Chairman, the Minister for Finance, we made to come and explain to government was why the parliamentary duplicating so many. Why is being extravagant? By the way, and in our manifesto, our leader of opposition, we advocated for a lean, for the first time in the history of Parliament, for as long as I've been there, national for 10 years, platform that has delivered the agenda for the first time cleaning up the extravagance in Right Honorable and should come for was therefore there is nothing minimum number was willing peace. It is President Yoweri to challenge. No, it is General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Because ordinarily the speaker have been using that window things of I and nay and pass dubious things from General Museveni. Should not set a claim that is a will not permit the Speaker of Parliament to pass any other resolution which is anti-people without people voting and Ugandans knowing who has voted. We are not so total against rationalization. No, we will just stand in Parliament of us and say, let's go to the vote. Your Excellency, we have supported almost 90% of agencies that have been rationalized. And led by the able leadership of our leader of opposition, Honorable Yoweri Sonyonyi, we've been able to support various bills. But for every rule, there is an exception. Even the government agencies, even the agencies to be privatized, to be rationalized by government, it's not all of them. Some have remained. The National Oil Company, the National Oil Authority, including Kampala State Council Authority. If they want to talk about duplication, just go to Kampala State Council. They have a minister and a deputy minister. They have an executive director. They have a road mayor. They have a speaker, a very powerful speaker. So if they wanted to crowd out duplication, they should have started with the KCCA and taken away all the ministers and blah, blah, and we go back to the mayor being the head of that institution. But that's not to be the case, and we're not making that case. And the National Uganda Revenue Authority, By the way, Uganda Revenue Authority is also an agency that was created of late. It is also under the Ministry of Finance. Therefore, rationalization is not omnibus. So there are some agencies that needs to be spared. Now, why do we make a case for coffee? We grow coffee, export coffee, but we are not hugely a coffee consuming country. Ethiopia grows more coffee than us, but Ethiopia consumes a lot of coffee internally. Nearly 90%, almost 95% of our coffee is for export. The countries where we export coffee have become very keen because of the new non-communicable diseases on what their citizens consume. So when you export to a country accredits you and satisfies you that the quality of the product you have exported, and for them they have imported, they are to a standard which will not cause health issues to their citizens. Therefore, for coffee, they accredited the Uganda Coffee Development Authority to have the power, to have the stamp, it is the only authority that stamps every bag of coffee that gets exported out of this country. And when that accreditation is withdrawn, you can no longer export your product to some particular countries. Therefore, the struggle one is that if you dissolve, because Section 4 of the bill talks about dissolving UCDA. But let me tell the country, the talk of 3 years being marketed is not anywhere in the bill. The bill does not in any way talk. They were distributing, were coming from nursery beds that had been monitored and prepared, organized by UCDA. And from there afterwards, it is UCDA that has been taking over. Therefore, and also the case is, Operation Wealth Creation was not only for coffee. It was for vanilla, it was for mango, it was for limawa, it was for many other things. Let them show us the success of those other crops. Let them how they've succeeded. Now, the Minister of Agriculture, the people from Chisoro, Kanungu, the Minister of Agriculture solely has been undertaking our tea. What happened to our tea? We lost accreditation. We cannot export as Uganda tea. What happens? We age our tea on the Kenyan market, and it's bought by Kenyans, packed Uganda tea, packed and stamped Kenya, and exported to the world. It has been under the watchful eye of the Ministry of Agriculture. They failed on fish until they are to put in the military. They failed on any. I've asked the Minister of Agriculture to give us one crop which they can give us to build the confidence as a benchmark where they have succeeded. Absolutely none. Therefore, we are saying this agency, by the way, in addition to being a chairperson of Uganda Parliamentary Caucus, I also chair Public Accounts Committee, still cutters of this paper, of this party. And I've just made a very fundamental report, SG, on the national economy, to which government up to now is struggling to put a response. But that's for another day. I've just audited the Ministry of Agriculture. This is the ministry that is in intensive care. It is on oxygen. It is very, very sick ministry. It cannot score a plus on anything. It scores only minuses. And therefore, this sick ministry, you cannot entrust it with your health what? Baby. Now, the president of the party, Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi, in the morning, tasked me to come and explain to you why the parliamentary stand. Why is the caucus, by the way, give due regards to our leader of opposition. For the first time in the history of parliament, for as long as I've been there, and I've been there for 10 years, about 10, 12 years, for the first time, Honorable Right Honorable Joel Senyon was able to rally a minimum number of MPs that are required to challenge a decision of a speaker. Because ordinarily, the speaker has been using that window of aye, and nay, and pass dubious things from today. Courtesy of a record set by Yoweri will not permit the Speaker of Parliament to pass any other resolution which is anti-people without people voting and Ugandans knowing who has voted. So they will no longer hide under ayes have it, noes have it. No, we will just stand up, 40 of us, and say, let's go to the vote. If the money from nursery beds that had been monitored and prepared, organized by UCDA. And from there afterwards, it is UCDA that has been taking over. Therefore, and also the case is, Operation Wealth Creation was not only for coffee. It was for vanilla, it was for mango, it was for limawa, it was for many other things. Let them show us the success of those other crops. Let them should wait.